my son that he needs to change and how I need to clean up our mess and, you know, build a strong foundation in our household. And it's not the easiest, because when you got a teenager, somebody that's 14, they already got their mindset, they already got their lifestyle, their friends, and all of these things. It's hard just to pull that away, you know, when you see it doesn't serve them. It's different when you're grown. Right? You got the mindset to kind of step away from things that don't serve you. And that's even hard because it's very uncomfortable. People always go backwards all the time in relationships and friendships. You know, they just go back to what's comfortable for them. So just imagine, you know, you got a mother that's healing, that's changing everything in the household, changing how she's showing up. She on your ass now about things that wasn't even mattering before. He's trying to find himself. He's 14, you know, at that teenage years. You try to find yourself in this world. You try to figure out who you are, especially as a man. Like, you know, as a little boy, you figuring out who you are, and you done adapted to your lifestyle, to your friends. But then when your mom comes in and say, no son, them ain't the people you need to hang with. No son, you can't be speaking like that. No son, you need to be more kinder. No son, you know, you got to move through love. Bringing the Bible in the household, like just changing everything up. I know it's a lot on my baby, and I be like, God, you know, supply him with all the things that he needs, because you know more than I do, you know, and also give me the grace to be able to empathize and have compassion for him, especially as being a teenager, you know, that he's trying, he's doing the best he can. I just have to have the strength and the endurance to keep fighting this thing out, you know, so we can change our foundation, so we can bring a foundation in our household, should I say, because we ain't had it. I didn't raise him off, you know, no type of morals, no type of values. Like respect wasn't talked about, being kind, you know, communication, you know, moving through love, having that intimate mother and son time. Like that wasn't in our household at all. So patience, you know, that wasn't in our household. So, you know, I'm bringing it all in now at his big age. I know it's a lot for him, and I be praying for my son, y'all, because, you know, I just see the things that don't serve him and how this world is. I be trying to preach to my son, like, son, have your own mind, like, be your authentic self, love who you are. Like his mentor tells him, you gotta love that star player. You gotta love what's on the inside, because if you don't love what's on the inside, you can't expect somebody else to love you. And I be paying attention now to how he is on the game, to how he speak to people, how he come into rooms, how he treat women like me and, you know, the women in our family. And he's very hard. He's very hard and closed. And he gets that from me, because that's how I was. That's how my mother was. That's how my grandmother was. And you can see it's passed down. But since I'm in this season where I'm trying to change, I ain't gonna say I'm trying to change. Since I'm in this season where I'm healing, I'm evolving, I'm changing. Since I'm in this season where I'm evolving, changing, healing, and doing things differently, right? My son needs to too. Because I know if he continues to do what he was doing prior in everything that I used to do, it's not going to serve him. He's going to be in his 30s right where I'm at in my 30s trying to figure life out. And I don't want that for him, because I see, especially what, you know, by us being in the hood and the projects, I see men. I see the men I grew up with. I see men older, and you could just see how their life is. I'm like, no, we got to go a different way. Like, my son can't. No, we got to change some things up. We got to switch the routine up, do some healing. You know, I've been asking God to bring all the people into his life that can help me with him, guide him, mentors, tutors, just anybody that can help level him up, because I can't do it by myself, you know, especially as a single mother. I can't do it by myself, and I don't want to. That's exhausting, trying to do everything. And that's the problem when a parent tries to do everything, tries to play that mother and father role, that independent role. Her kid loses out. Her kid doesn't get everything that he's supposed to get. He might get a roof over his head, bills might get paid, he might have clothes on his back, but it's more that comes into being a parent. You have to guide your children, give them the emotional support, give them words of encouragement. You got to show them love. You got to get in a business. You got to have conversations with them, go out to their schools, figure out who they hanging around. Like, these are things that takes intentional time to do. And a lot of times, if you're a parent, you're the single parent, you working, And by the time you get home, it's time to cook and go to bed. You have no time to do any of that. That's how it was for me growing up. I didn't see my mom a lot because she was working, and when I did, it was just like picking me up from the Boys and Girls Club, dropping me off home, not dropping me off, but going home to cook, and we was going to bed. And on the weekends, she was doing her little one too. So we really didn't get that mother and daughter time. And if I would have, I know I would have turned out differently. Because I didn't get it because she had to do it all by herself. And for me, I know I don't want to do it all by myself. So in order for me to really get a foundation in my household and, you know, to receive, you know, to open my heart to the community, the people, the resources, even the relationships God wants for me, I have to heal and change, because that's gonna pour into me. That's gonna make me a better person. If I'm more open and I open myself up to people helping me with me and my son, that's taking loads up off of me. So the areas I can't pour into my son, somebody else can. Or I can pay somebody else to do something that I can't do, that I don't want to do. See, when you struggling and you doing it all by your own, your resources are very limited. So you and your children go without the proper guidance, the proper needs, the proper necessities that you guys need. I can look back and I see all the areas that, you know, that my mother lacked, the things that I didn't receive as a child. And it starts showing up when you get grown, when you get older. You start to see it. You start to develop it. Like, damn, I had no emotional guidance. I was very aggressive, very hostile, quick to anger, slow to listen, always talking more than I was listening. Like, all of these things I wasn't taught how to move through love, how to be a good person, how important it is to have good character, to smile more than you frown, to be open. Like, you have to open your heart to opportunities, open your heart to possibilities. You got to be open to these things. If you closed off, always got a unit on your face, you blocking your blessings. I'm gonna tell you that, because that's how I walked around. And it's sad, because I my smile is way too big, my energy is way too bright for me to be walking around being dark like that. But that's how I spent my 20s, because that's what I was around. That's how I grew up. I don't want that for my son. I see things about my son, like, he's funny, he got a beautiful smile, he has dimples, you know. I don't want him to sweep that under the rug because of what life is showing him. Oh, shit. What is going on? Jesus. Because of what life is showing him. Y'all, forgive me. Because of what life is showing him. No. I don't want my son to have a hardened heart and have that carried all in him throughout his 20s. And then before you know it, he wasted his youth doing bullshit. He wasted his youth on negativity, being around the wrong friends, consuming the wrong type of content, the wrong information. No, I be telling my son, you better go find some nerdy friends. You better get some people that's smarter than you, that come from better backgrounds than you, better environments than you, because those are going to be the ones that can teach you and elevate you. If you seclude yourself to your hood friends, to this hood environment, you're going to be in this box. You don't want to be at my age trying to figure out how we're going to get up out this damn box. Do you hear me? Nobody taught me how to get outside of my environment, outside of the hood, mentally. My mindset was stuck right there for my whole 20s. Growing up, growing up, that's what I was going to do. Turn up, go out, be with this person and that person, live the toxic lifestyle. That's how my life was going to be, because that's what was showed me. I remember my mom going out on the weekends. She went out on the weekends. Not saying she wasn't supposed to turn up, wasn't supposed to do her little one too, but I've seen that. That's what I saw growing up, so guess what? I did the same thing. I went out, honey, okay? In my 20s, I went out. I don't want that for my son. So you have to really, really, really look at the families you come from. See the environments you come from, the people you come from. how was your childhood? How was your teenage years? How was your adult years right now? Who are the people that's around you? And you have to really, 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 really go outside of that, because you will be there. You will be stuck in that box. You'll be stuck in that environment.